All right, let's pick this up. I'm feeling pretty relaxed because Rippy did all the calls, so I'm not all spaced out from looking at the calls. So I have some energy for this crap. Hopefully, I won't get too excitable. I don't know why I get so excited over this shit. I'm not sure why.
And I'm looking forward to bringing you some great candidates.
Yeah, right here. Yeah.
Thank you.
That guy, they hired this guy. Who knows how much they paid him to recruit? I mean, what a pork barrel. It's ridiculous. Only a place like Trimet would hire an outside consultant to do the job that they're supposed to be doing.
Mr. Bellman, before I get the comments, I see a couple of board members have their hands raised. Did you have anything else you wanted to add?
Nothing else from me. Thank you.
All right. I think Director Way, you were first.
Yes, I think just a couple of comments on the community outreach. I think we, can do better with outreach to the Asian community. I know that, there's still some barriers to maybe connecting with the right folks or community leaders. But API, Asian and Pacific Islanders, are one of the fastest growing communities of color here in Oregon, and particularly in our region. And so I just think that we need to improve on better community engagement for that community. And I know that, there are at least, I'm just making a list, at least 8 ethnic media in Korean, Vietnamese, and Chinese that reaches, thousands of folks who identify in those languages. So I just don't see any reason as to why, we wouldn't be reaching out to the ethnic media to get the word out about this. And so I just wanted to, again, offer that, our communities are growing. They've been here for many decades and generations and have contributed to our state. And I also know that we also have a significant ridership that identifies as Asian and Pacific Islanders. So again, our outreach and education, especially towards this leadership process, needs to reflect those community members and their voices as well. So those are just the comments that I wanted to share. Thank you.
No, Director Way, you are absolutely correct. And I would say to you that we are constantly improving and we are learning more. And I just want a quick little clarification statement when I said that we look to purchase some of our translated ads in some of those other languages. Some of those platforms don't support that. And so we are learning ourselves and trying to figure out ways to get it into more hands. We would love to work with you and to figure out how to do that. Because again, we're always constantly refining our outreach efforts and constantly trying to do more. So definitely heard. Thank you.
Absolutely, yes. And I'm definitely a resource. So let's touch base. Thanks, JC.
Perfect. Thank you.
Director Edwards, did you have your hand up?
Yeah, thank you very much, Director Warner. I just wanted to applaud the committee for the work that they're doing, and also Greg and JC for the work that you're doing as well.
Here we go.
It's very good work, and I know it's a difficult task. I wanted to also piggyback on Director Wade's comments, though, in regards to outreach. I don't know if there's been outreach to neighborhood associations, but certainly that's an avenue that is very vibrant in the city of Portland, and I think it's important to reach out to them and get some feedback from them as well, because they can also be a conduit to the many folks that do utilize the services of Trimet that maybe don't feel that they have a voice. But also when we talk about, as Director Wade was saying, when we talk about our different demographics, it's important to realize that, media like the Asian Reporter need to be used, the Hispanic News, the Scanner, and the Portland Observer. And the message can't always be the same because there are cultural differences, and you have to approach different cultures in different ways. And so that's why it's important to make sure that we we do that appropriately, because if you don't approach them in the appropriate way, you won't get a response, and you'll wonder, then you figure that they're not interested or disinterested, and that's not true. So it's important that we look at those things and make sure that we're, using the correct messaging to reach out to folks, and so that we can get a response from each and every one, because we want everyone to have input into this that has an issue or concern that should be heard and raised.
Thank you, Director Edwards. Well, that's all that's shown on the agenda. I wanted to give the board a quick update, because I did it informally last week, but the public needs to know that as part of our reimagining public safety on transit effort, as you heard today, which is what was developed with the community and stakeholder groups to help us implement new community-based services and other opportunities to really make our transit system better. And by that, I mean more safe, welcoming, and equitable for all. And this plan included things like the crisis intervention team, a greater presence of Trimet employees, which include fare inspectors, what I think we've called ambassadors in the past, unarmed security, and a lot of training. And then, of course, transit police. And we have been working with the Multnomah County Sheriff's Office for months to take over the leadership of the transit police elements.
Yeah, I know. I don't.
This revised safety program. And last week, our agreement with the Multnomah County Sheriff's Office was before the Multnomah County Board of Commissioners for their approval. And as I told you, anybody listening needs to know that John Gardner, Sam DeSue, our interim general manager, and I met with all of the commissioners, and we answered a lot of questions about what was in our overall proposed 7-year budget for public safety, and also what it can include, even though it may not have been explicitly called out. So we gave them assurances that these funds can be used to cover the cost of portions of what we will ensure that we, I'm talking about the county, Trimet, and the Multnomah County Sheriff's Office, have the expertise and ability to develop a crisis response team with behavioral health expertise, mental health expertise, and links to their homeless programs as part of this agreement, which is exactly the kind of thinking that we wanted to have in our reimagining public safety. And also from our conversation with commissioners, we agreed with them that there needs to be regular and ongoing updates with their board by Trimet and the sheriff on our progress and success if this IGA was to be approved. And I'm pleased to announce that with those clarifications and consensus on bringing together other county resources to address transit safety and security, the Board of County Commissioners unanimously approved the agreement between the Multnomah County Sheriff's Office and Trimet. And I expect our...
Boy, what a shock that was, huh? They unanimously approved their cronies' cronyism. You got cronies approving cronies. It's just a great system. But, it's not just Portland. This is the same. You see the same thing everywhere. Let's not just pick on them, because no matter where you go, you're going to see the same fucking thing.
Our staff will be giving us lots of updates on this as it's fully implemented. But I feel really good about Sheriff Reese and kind of his proactive community-based approach to policing, and I think we can be frankly a model for the nation on this. I want to thank John and Sam, but also Tom Markgraf for a lot of work in making this successful. So I wanted to get that on the record for you, and I'd be glad to answer any questions from any board members on that one too. Finally, please.
Yes, thank you, Director Warner. I do have a question. Did the discussion come up around oversight and what that would look like and who would be involved in the oversight?
It did, and I think the intent was that there would be a community group.
Let's take a moment here, and while I'm listening to this, I was researching the Multnomah County Sheriff, and here's a very recent suit. Over the summer of 2020 in the United States of America, within a global pandemic, men and women locked in a small concrete cells of Multnomah County Detention Center, most convicted of no crime, were repeatedly and horrifically tear gassed. Night after night, Multnomah County jail deputies ignored cries for help, stopped responding to emergency calls, and left women and men trapped in their cells to suffer. This is your sheriff, okay? And this is a lawsuit brought against the sheriff by Teresa Davis, Rashad Duhart, and Robin Lundy. And it was filed in, let's see here, November 23rd, 2020. So yeah, your sheriff, great. They're going to be a great model. Yeah, sure.
Groups that would be put together to help the sheriff's office and the county really oversee, but also measure the progress to make sure we're accomplishing what we want to do with this program. So you will see a community oversight group put together. I don't think that's been set up. If Sam or John Gardner is on, maybe they can give you some more information on that. But it was clear that there's going to be a lot of engagement with the community and oversight all the way around on this.
Yeah, totally agree, Mr. President. This is Sam Dessou. We will have a panel that's put together.
Okay, stop the presses. An internal review of how Multnomah County employee handled cases of alleged abuse and neglect of mentally ill from Greater Portland has spawned a criminal investigation, the Portland Tribune has learned. Among the many issues that appear to be under review by prosecutors and the Multnomah County sheriffs are whether the alleged abusers cited in the complaints can be indicted. Yay! More good news about your great sheriff.
It's in the process now, and there will be community participation on the panel with oversight of the program.
Come on.
Through the chair, may I ask, do we know what the makeup of that panel is going to be? How many community members? Are they going to come from one district of the, out of the 7? Will it be made up of Trimet employees, Trimet staff? What is that going to look like? Are there going to be police officers on there? What is that going to look like?
Yeah, I think Sam said it's still yet to be determined. But Sam, do you have any more information on
I'm
that?
sure it's going to be wonderful.
We're still working on the makeup now, and we will be letting everyone know here very shortly.
Yeah, right. I have nothing but bad things to say about this. And they disregarded, all the activists' testimonies. They just ignored it, which is what they do. I mean, you know how they are. You know how it goes.
I don't want this to go on too long, but I would like to ask too, will the board have input as to what that oversight committee will look like?
Well, let's set the expectation that we will. Okay, Sam?
Yeah.
I think he's nodding his head there. Director Wade, did you have a comment too?
Sure. Yes, Sam and team, thank you so much and Bruce for bringing this, really important topic again to the board meeting. And Director Edwards, I also echo, having the importance of, I think, a representative and a diverse, age, gender, ethnicity, life experience, occupation on this oversight committee, because as it was just mentioned earlier, if we're creating a national model, then it needs...
Creating a national model. You're not creating shit. Okay? Stop trying to pretend that you're creating something. You haven't done shit. As a matter of fact, you're one of the more regressive transit districts.
We need to act that like this is the gold standard that we want, potentially the rest of the nation to follow.
Can you turn that light on?
No pressure on our end,
you
but
want
I think that we have,
they got a hell of a nerve talking like this. They're regressive. We want to look at some progressive, fair enforcement and problem solving. Go to Seattle. Okay, they're the model, not you guys.
Amazing people in our agency and in Multnomah County, and very highly engaged community stakeholders, I think, who would love, to give input. My only question is the various positions that will be created. So I just would like to, maybe a 6-month report later down the road. Just would love to see what are the actual positions that are being created, at least in the 1 year or in the 2 year of the 7-year contract, because these are public dollars, right? So the public needs to know where the investment is going to, particularly around staffing. So that would be my only request.
It's a good comment, and I think that's exactly the comments that the Multnomah County board members wanted too. So we'll be, that's why the regular update dates will be there. And I will point out, we do have a new member on our board who has a lot of experience with the Multnomah County Sheriff's Office. So I think in terms of board liaison, I think we need to figure out who that would be. But I know who I would probably pick if I was in this, if I'm going to continue to be here for a few months. So we'll have some further discussions about that. Other comments? I did want to, Keith, Director Wade mentioned that, we probably had 5 or 6 folks talk to us this morning about the importance of the apprenticeship and training programs at Trimet, and frankly, some of them beat us up in terms of what we're not being where they want. But Director Wade thought you might have some comments for us this morning.
Very much, yes, I do. I'm just concerned about the tenor of Trimet's approach to this, and the message that's been going out.
Good for you.
Because they didn't come out of thin air, and I'm very concerned about that, and I've been concerned about it for some time, and I've expressed that so that we can keep it at the forefront. It's really speaks to the core of our mission and our values, and it really flies in the face of that, in my opinion, in regard to our approach. And I know, we don't get involved in the negotiation, but certainly the attitude and the behavior that has been the image and message that Trimet has sent has not been good for our PR, for one thing, and it's certainly not good because it sounds like we're talking out of both sides of our mouth.
At least one person on that board has got the guts to say something accurate for a change.
In my opinion. And I think that has to change. We have to change that approach and change that behavior. I heard some of the testimony this morning through the YouTube, and it really resonated because I don't think it came from a place of attack. I don't think it came from an adversarial place. I think it came from a factual place.
Yes.
And I'm going
Good
to
for
be
you.
Actually trying to find out.
Good for you.
I'm going to get the testimony that was given at the hearing yesterday in the legislature, and because I want to see what what was actually said by Trimet, as well as any other testimony that was presented to the legislators. And I think that's important to know, and I would encourage the rest of the board to do the same, because our position is that we've come up with the mission, we've come up with the vision for Trimet, and like I say, I get concerned because we can't say one thing and do something totally different.
Which is what they do all the time. That's what they do constantly. They say one thing and then they do something. They're just like every other political entity in this fucked up world we live in. What they say and what they do don't match.
And it doesn't bode well for us as an agency. We don't look good with the community. We don't have any integrity when it comes to the community. And this has been a major issue, a major point of contention with the negotiations. And it doesn't build a relationship. It hasn't been any relationship building, and that has to change. The community suffers and the public suffers. And it's certainly not fair to them. And I think the onus is on Trimet to work to make sure that we build those bridges and make sure that we're not the ones that are setting fire to the bridges. And so there's going to have to be some changes and made soon And I think that has to be, like I say, at the forefront, at the key to what we're doing, because if we have people that are actually promoting or on the negotiation team that aren't exhibiting and behaving with the vision and the mission that Trimet has, then we need to find folks that will. And I'll just be real clear about that.
Yeah.
So that's what I have to say. Thank you.
Okay, that was quite a bit to say. I think maybe, Sam, you can give us update on the negotiations.
Yes,
but I also know there's differences of opinion about what's been said and where we are on this stuff, Director Edwards. So hopefully we can have an honest discussion about that too.
Yeah, well, you know, okay, Warner. See, this what you just saw there is why they won't take Warner off the board. What you just saw is the exact reason for them not removing Warner. See how he jumped in there and he defended the management. See what he just did? He jumped in there and he I can't find the goddamn favorites on this stupid fucking app. Where is it? Jesus, I fucking hate this. There it is. I was going to give him a hand, but you see what Warner just did? This is why they won't get him. This is why they put him in there. They threw Rick Van Beveren off the board, and they installed Warner. They installed Warner as the chairman of the board from outside. He had no experience on the board, and they made him the chairman of the board. That was when McFarland took over. I mean, these are all moves made on purpose with the intention of breaking the union. And I heard about this before McFarland took over. What I was told way back was when the Green Line was finished and Fred Hansen left, they were going to come after the union. And that's exactly what happened. That's exactly what happened. And it's still going on to this day, over a decade later.
May I say a little something on the heels of that?
Yeah, sure. Okay, come on. Do something good,
Don't mean to
Ozzy.
jump in front of you, Director.
Ozzy, we have faith that you can do something good here. Now, I'm hoping Ozzy's going to be the next chairman. I want him as the next chairman of the board. Okay, I think he's the most qualified. I think he's bilingual. I think he's a nice guy. He's even willing to get down in the cesspool with us out here. Hopefully they're going to give it to him, but I'm afraid they're going to give it to that woman, that horrible lawyer. I can't stand her either. Him, at least Ozzy, there's some hope for Ozzy, you know. I think he's open-minded enough.
Sue, I just want to make sure that I add and echo the sentiments of Director Edwards, and really emphasize what I think is missing most in this process right now. And I would call it a simple alignment of facts. There seems to be a tale of two stories with very basic things, and I know that we're coming out of what you could call a fake news world, and a world where facts don't seem to mean what they used to. But this is not a space for alternative facts. I think we have the opportunity to just align on the basics of, if there are diversity questions, what are the diversity statistics, and really who holds the torch when it comes to ensuring that there is a diverse pool of candidates made available.
That's not what we were talking about, Ozzy. You're on a different topic here. You've gone to a whole nother topic. Were you even paying attention, Ozzy, for crying out loud?
That seems to be something that we're not basically in agreement with currently. The cost of the programs. There seems to be dispute about what the cost is, and those basic facts, I think, if we're not in alignment.
Wait a minute, okay. And I said this in yesterday's, okay. These people, the amount of the hundreds of millions of dollars that go out, I want to point out that capital projects has got a bigger budget than operations, okay? So I can tell you as a fact that the cost is not the real story here, okay? The cost of the apprenticeship program is not the actual story of what's going on, okay? The bigger story is privatization and disempowering the union. Okay, that's the real story. It's got nothing to do with cost. It's got to do with privatizing, because Trimet loves that, creating profit for their local elites and you can only create profit for the elites if you privatize things, and minimizing union influence by making things outside the union. They minimize the union. That's what it's about. Okay, let's stop pretending. Okay, stop lying. Can't you at least be honest? No, of course you can't, because if they said that, the whole world would be against them. They'd realize that, yeah, what you're actually doing is unconscionable. You're taking our public funds and you're taking them away from the union and the benefits that are earned from inside, and you're taking those for the exclusive use of the oligarchy and their agents.
They foster a
Look at how he's talking right into the camera. It's almost like he's talking like he's right into the camera. That's a pretty good presentation, Ozzy.
Place where we can have really different realities, different perspectives on what the issues are.
That's a good presentation. I'll hand him #1 position for, see how he's presenting himself on the camera. That's just brilliant. I mean, that's a presentation. He's like talking to me. See how way he's looking? I'm looking at him from my computer, and his eyes are talking to my eyes. That's brilliant, Ozzy.
And what the solutions are. So I'd love to hear a little bit of that. And the other one that was a concern to me is there doesn't seem to be an alignment on the fact of what sort of ideas have already been proposed proactively to address the concerns that have been well known, well documented, well established around the apprenticeship programs.
Yeah, why doesn't just listen to Sue? Tell us, lay it out for us, lay it out exactly how much money you're going to save and the exact reasons for doing it. I bet you he doesn't do it. They've never done it. They've never laid it out. They have not laid any of this out. Now they're already got they have an apprenticeship program. It's currently they want to get rid of it. So we need to understand exactly what's going on in your mind. They're not going to tell us. Okay, they're not going to tell us, because as I just laid out, this has got nothing to do with cost and everything to do with privatization and disempowering the union.
We're in a space where it seems like we're choosing it's either this or that, but I haven't really heard what ideas have been thrown out, perhaps, in the process. And there seems to be a misalignment on whether ideas were provided, whether they were properly evaluated or not.
Well, he's right. I haven't heard any. I've been watching these meetings lately. The last few meetings, I've actually watched the whole meeting. I have a hard time watching these because I get so involved with it and it pisses me off. But no, they've never laid it out. This is all being done in secret.
I think that all makes all of this stuff come out in spaces well past the bargaining table where it should be. But I want to echo the sentiments of Director Edwards that this is critical. It's not voting very well for either ATU or Trimet right now. And the way I see it, there's no future that does not include both of those entities at the table, ensuring that we're serving the public proactively. So I just don't know what that looks like, but I'd really appreciate that we try to begin with an alignment of basic facts here.
Good comment.
Tell us the truth.
Director Edwards and also Director Gonzalez. Wanted to just take a moment to let you know that we are actively negotiating over a new contract. We've met 5 times.
That's not the question. Okay? Watch how we won't answer the question. Watch this.
In March.
Now, Kelsey was a master of this word salad that doesn't say anything. Let's see how he does.
We've reached a number of agreements on contract provisions.
See, he's not answering.
This last few weeks.
He's not answering.
And we continue to exchange proposals on
See, he's not answering. He's giving you a word salad of nothing. We're negotiating. Look, he's not making he's not answering the question.
Issues that we don't have agreement. The main
we already know that, Sue.
Is how we're looking at making adjustments to the apprenticeship program.
No.
Much like what we heard today, we've heard some sentiments from our community.
He's not answering. What are you saving? How much are you going to save on that? Tell us. He's not answering. And there's a reason for that. Because the truth is, and I'm going to say it a third time, this is about capitalist profit and disempowerment of the union. That's the truth. It's not about the money. But they're never going to tell you that.
Members, lawmakers, congressional staff.
Dude, no answer.
That the apprenticeships are important, and we couldn't agree more.
He's not answering.
We just want to make our work better. And all of those who's commented this morning, we know.
See, he's not answering. He's just giving you nothing. He's giving you, this is why these people make a lot of money, for their ability to get up there and lie with a straight face. Okay, I would never do that. I couldn't do that job. I wouldn't want your fucking money. I wouldn't lie. I wouldn't be part of your class of people who lie to the public for the benefit of the elite class. That's what you're doing.
That we're actively negotiating with the ATU. It's very encouraging to me just as well to see that we've made some progress in negotiations, and we believe that we just need to continue to find mutual understanding.
He's nothing. It's a complete joke. He's not giving you an answer. He's giving the same fucking bullshit we get every time. No answer. We're making progress. We're negotiating. We're doing this. It's all lies. It's all nothing. It's all big nothing.
Between the situation that we're dealing with, and that's the apprenticeship conversation. We know that a negotiated outcome is the best outcome, and it's our...
See how he won't answer. The answer would be, Director Edwards and Director Gonzalez, we will save $1 million over 1 year and then show us how that's possible. Show us. How are you going to save money? Let's hear it. But he's not going to do it. He will not do it because that's not what's happening here. I can see through this. I don't know how many people can see through it. Oh, furthermore, I want to comment that, I've been watching Trimet Twitter, the Trimet, actual Trimet social media. They put out all these little feel-good, like, here's our... Which do you like the grapes or do you like the beaver? They throw out all these feel good tweets, and all of their followers, they got like 100,000 followers. They all respond to the tweets. Well, I like the grapes. I like the beaver. I like the fish. They got lots of responses, but they will never tweet the board meeting is happening. They won't let anybody know this is going. They don't want anybody to know about this. Okay, and nobody does. Okay, and I have no reach because I don't want anybody watching any. They want to operate in secret. This is a cash cow for all of these people involved here, and the less the public knows about, the better. And they've been going under the radar for a long time. With Trump absorbed everybody's attention for the last 5 years. Now that he's off the stage, they have other things going on, like there's a ship stuck in the canal, or Biden can't talk straight. So nobody pays it, or Ted Wheeler, all the real big things. So Trimet gets to get away with all of their corruption because nobody knows what's going on. They're under the radar, and this is what they do, man. This is how they hide everything.
Hope that we can work together and come to an agreement.
See, he's nothing.
We have ongoing talks scheduled, and we're hopeful that we can come to consensus as we move forward.
It's a big nothing.
Thank you.
He said nothing. Do you see what he just did, folks? He said nothing. They asked him a question. He said nothing. Okay, I don't care what race you are. It's the same fucking bullshit. Okay, here, we got black executive director. That's supposed to mean something? Hell no, it doesn't mean anything. That means nothing. If you're not gonna change the way you're doing business, who cares what fucking race you are? So you're sharing the wealth with the black people. Okay, great. That's great. I guess on one level, that's great. But that doesn't help us down here in the ditch. Yeah, see, nothing. You're going to let them get away with that. Is any director going to say, hey, you just told us nothing, Dessous? You just told us nothing. Your whole speech was nothing. Let's see.
All right, I think we need to...
And there he goes. And there comes the head honcho fucking corrupt guy pushing the conversation away. See, this is a brilliant example of what I've been yelling about. You see it playing out right in front of you right here with this. And now he's going to run cover for Dessous and push the conversation away from this. You see? You're getting it. The few people that watch this with me. You understand how you're being conned. It's nothing but a con job.
We're not going to get through our agenda at all.
Oh, see, yeah, okay.
So I'd like
see,
to
look
go
at
to
that,
the
look at that,
general
look at that. See how good he was at that? He's pushing the conversation. He doesn't want, he knows this is going in a dangerous direction. And he's pushing the conversation away from this. He sees there's a couple of board members who are not happy with the way things are going here. And he's gonna make sure that doesn't boil over, and that's what he's doing right now. And let's see, if he moves the agenda forward, I'm going to end this video here because this is a very good place to end. Let's see what happens.
Manager's report, Mr. General Manager.
Okay, all right, all right, yeah. He just terminated. Do you see that? He just terminated the conversation. Let's just make sure it gets terminated.
You could be brief today, since I think
okay.
We do have a large agenda.
Actually, okay. So he cut off the conversation, which is what he's there to do. He's there to make sure nobody gets out of control. That's why they left. That's why he's there. Well, he's over a year and 3 months after his term has been up. They changed the law so that he could stay. And you just saw exactly why Bruce Warner is still sitting in that chair. To get that conversation off of the apprenticeship and move it along. I'm going to terminate it there because it's just a perfect. I feel like I've just been able to illustrate to you, any of the few people that see this, the kind of con game that goes on at the Trimet Board of Directors. You had Keith Edwards made a good point. Ozzy kind of fuzzed the point a bit, but he was not all that clear. And then DeSue said nothing. He said nothing. And then Warner terminated the conversation. It's just perfect.